Hello everyone, it's the video we've all been waiting for. Advice from ferret owners for ferret owners. Bum bum bum! Yesterday I asked you, what's some advice for ferret owners from ferret owners? So let's get into that and we'll talk about a couple of them and show you. So our first one is Gray Mary. I'm sorry if I say anyone's name wrong, I'm doing this a little late at night. But she says that you shouldn't wash your ferret more than once a month because their skin will suffer if you do that. So our second one is Nicole Cheney. Let's see what she has to say. Ferrets need lots of space like cats and dogs, and if in the process of moving, let a friend borrow them. Well, that's some good advice there. We all know this, but ferrets need time with you when you get home. Also, be with them as much as possible. Just don't make your life fully on them. That makes them bite. My ferrets do get kind of sick of me sometimes. That explains why. Raw diet is best and keeps them up to health. Also, stay away from sugary kibble. That is not good for them. Get stuff like freeze-dried chicken or anything not sugar or fruit. The reason that a lot of these companies, they use things that are like sugars and such in their foods is because it helps keep things together. So they'll use some like plant off product or something. And I know sometimes there are sugars added into them, and they're not good for your ferret in any regard. So that one is really accurate. Picking out a ferret. Okay, first thing to know, if the ferret has stuff on its eyes and it smells horrible, don't buy it, and pick out a ferret you think you can connect with. Having little kids around might lead to a ferret being stressed if the ferret is played with, like say a cat. Just be careful if family comes over. Now, I talked about this a little while in a couple of videos ago, probably multiple times, but little kids and ferrets, and when I say little, I mean the kids that don't really know what they're doing. The ones that will squeeze something that doesn't need to be squeezed, or ones that don't know how to control themselves. And the reason that you don't want this to happen is because when kids get with ferrets, sometimes they want to squeeze them. And when ferrets get squeezed, they start to hurt a lot. Imagine if you had someone with a big giant hands just squeezing your midsection, you wouldn't feel very good. Naturally, they'll turn to biting or any sort of thing to try and get this to stop because ow. Next up, Ferret Reviews by Ashley says, congrats on a 3.5K heart emoji. Why, thank you. And I want to say thank you all for that. I know my mom has subscribed to me at least 100 times, but still. But seriously, thank you guys. It says research into ferret nutrition. Anything that isn't an animal, don't feed to your ferret. Well, this is one of the joys of trying to do lighting on the fly. Oh, I had this fall, and yeah, not the best thing to happen to you while you're trying to film. Alright, I think that solved it. So raw feeding is certainly an option for people who can really get into that. And raw feeding is obviously one of the best ways to feed your ferret. It's as close to their natural diet as you're going to get. And so if you can do it, Rosie, she just went off. She stole the big bag, empty bag of food. If you guys heard that in the background, it was so cute. She's like, she had it in her mouth and was going like that way. Raw feeding, obviously great if you can do it. Raw feeding is has a lot of preparation, a lot of dedication that you have to do. And you also have to deal with meat and raw meat at that. And so some people, like myself, might get a little discouraged there. I think I'll have to have someone really hold my hand through that process for me to get into it. But if you think you can handle it, go for it. Jack, you're not supposed to be getting into that. I know it looks interesting. Stop it. I'll be right back. From Amy Eber. And again, sorry about the names. This is probably common to ferret owner knowledge, but if you choose to get a male ferret and have them castrated, remember to take them for checkups after the operation. Mine ended up getting an infection after their op, but were medicated. Okay, that sounds horrible. First off, an infection in that area for one of these little guys, yeah, I'd be like, having an infection right here. So that would be horrible. I'd be freaked out if I saw that I was infected. Be like, all right, we're going to the vet now. Hey, baby. You do not enjoy being held like this, don't you? Oh, look at the light on him. That's kind of cute. Double barrel ferrets. No one steal that. I'm making that to a t-shirt. You okay, baby? Aww. Alright, let's continue on. So, if they're sick, it's really hard to get out. Also, females are more energetic and small. So that, I think it really depends on the ferret, but yeah, from my experience, it's been that females are really more energetic. Of course, this is all just what people have said. There's no science to this necessarily, but males tend to be more cuddly. I don't know why that is, but they just do, and they tend to be bigger. Sexual dimorphism. Is that how you say it right? As you can tell from the background, Rosie's gone back to the empty bag. Alright, Nirvana US says, and by the way, I thought that your profile picture was one of the guys from My Chemical Romance for a moment there, and I'm still not sure if it isn't, so let me know. But when going to bed or before going to bed, it's best to play with your furry friend so he can have his rest. And you can put a little sheet over his cage so no light can get on his cage. My ferrets seem to sleep better like that. And that is a really good point there with the sheet over a cage. Now, us humans, we tend to have cell phones on, lights on, TVs on, all that lovely stuff when we go to bed. And I generally try to keep my lights to a minimum, but I'll have a podcast or something going in the background. So if you have lights on and stuff like that, if you go to bed and you have to have the lights still on, put a sheet over your ferret's cage. That way they have complete darkness. They like, ferrets like to be in tunnels. They like to be in caves. They like to have little hidey holes. They're kind of like hobbits. One thing about that I can think of, make sure that the air can still circulate. If the ferrets use the bathroom in the cage, which is something they will do, you kind of want air to pass through and kind of take it out of there. So otherwise, they'll be very unhappy in the morning. So just keep that in mind. Make sure air still circulates okay. All right, next one. Quenzer says, salmon oil on the belly for nail clipping, ear cleaning, brush cleaning, etc. It's a lifesaver. Salmon oil, I need to get me some of that. Routine ear cleanings and teeth brushing. Teeth cleaning down the road may require a vet visit and can be very pricey if not maintained. I'm sorry, my English. So routine ear cleanings and teeth brushings. If you don't do that regularly, you might have to have a vet do it, and they're very expensive. Hide anything you value dearly in your life. They will find it and probably steal or destroy it. Don't use essential oils around ferrets. Their bodies can't break down the oils like we can, and it is toxic. Tea tree oil is especially toxic, so look out for it in their shampoo. The most important one, I think, is to love them and enjoy them. You don't know how long your fuzzbots are going to be around. It could be 10 years, or it could be 2 years, or it could be 10. Just love every single day of their happy, dookie little lives. She's trying to get up there. I specifically set that up so that she couldn't get up there. But oh no, look at that, look at that. Well, well. And there you have it. Pro tip for ferrets. They can jump. Crystal Fritas says, watch out for allergic reactions, especially with vaccines. My guy got the distemper vaccine, went into shock, and had to be brought back. He's all good now, just turned 1 in February. They need Benadryl before any vaccine, and have to stay at the vet's office for half an hour afterwards. Or stay at the vet's office for half an hour afterwards. Gabriel Delilah's. First, wash their linens regularly. Baby detergent is probably the best because it's the most gentle, and ferrets can have sensitive skin. I found this to be very helpful with controlling their musky odor. The oils they secrete tend to build up in their blanket and leave behind the musky odor. Having at least 2 sets of linens help washing your day from becoming a hassle. Second, you can find a very cheap small vacuum at Walmart for less than $20. Vacuuming more often in our areas, our little fuzzbutt plan can help to prevent hairballs during the sudden shedding season, and can also reduce the odor. You can also vacuum up their eating area every few days to prevent our babes from getting old, stale food and getting sick. Yes, our ferrets can be the messiest animal sometimes, but keeping everything clean helps their overall health in the long run. Third, having 2 sets of toys versus all the toys available to our fuzzies is a great way to prevent your ferret from getting bored. Ferrets love exploring, and so placing new things, literally anything, some plastic boxes or shoes, anything, old dirty shoes, clothes, in their environment keeps them exploring new things. Put half their toys away, and when you start seeing your ferrets get bored, switch them out. Just realized I can literally go on and on, and I should probably make a video too, I would say, so yes. And along that same line, Kathy Rickson says, ferrets get bored easily. We actually have 3 sets of toys that we interchange about once a month. When they get bored with one set, we box them up and get another set out. It's amazing, they act like they've never seen them before. So much curiosity. So that seems like a really, really great idea, and I actually replied, wow, why did I not think of that? This one's from Smog the Ferret. Some advice I'd like to input, as it is something I've discovered about Smog recently, is this. Know your ferrets and their limits. I know it may seem like general knowledge that if you are around your ferret, you obviously will know them, but there also would come a point as a ferret owner where we will be like, oh, I want to add another fuzzy to my bunch. And you go out and get another one with the hopes that she will be welcomed by your current ferret. My advice, especially if you only have one ferret to begin with, is to find another ferret owner and schedule play dates with their ferret, or ferrets. And then after 2 playdates, to then decide on whether or not it is a good idea to introduce another ferret. After 2 playdates that Smog has endured, I have discovered / decided that he would not appreciate having to share everything with another ferret. He did not mind the playdates, though there was no playing happening, and instead, the other ferret owner and I heard a sound that is the equivalent of a ferret saying off to the other ferret. There was no blood or poop during their interactions. I could tell Smog was only tolerating the whole process, as he knew these other ferrets would not be staying and that soon they will be leaving. So basically, know your ferrets and their limits, otherwise you might create more problems than you wanted in the first place. Alright guys, well that about does it for me. I want to thank everyone who participated in this. This has been a very fun video to make. And I think we can do this again. This is just kind of fun getting everyone to come together so we can all make something together. Thank you again so much, and I'll see you next time.